Hey everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 and 9 with me, Tigo. And if you're sitting there right now, it's the second Monday of the month. You know what that means? Our Finding Better expert is here. And today we're going to talk about math. Wait, how is that finding? Luckily, I love math. We'll find out where he's going with this one. So sit right there. We'll be right back. The 9 at 9 with me.
Because I feel like as women, it's so easy for us to get caught up.
The differences between a rut and a grave are the dimensions.
So that means 99% of the people around you are wrong 99% of the time and 99% of everything they believe.
Your attorney should make you feel empowered in what you're being told.
Your shows are so impactful. You're just a consummate professional and you take it to the next level.
But only broke people think time is money. Rich people know time is not money.
I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, you heard me right. We got John Suzuki in the house because it's the second Monday of the month. But, John, you want to talk about math? Huh? How's that finding better?
Yeah, I want to talk about math and I want to talk about a little bit of gratitude, but I want to talk about how mathematically it is impossible that we are not all related. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And this is kind of a story of just kind of appreciating your fellow person, your fellow man, your brother, your sister, all these different things. So one day, I'm driving down the road. I've got a long drive ahead of me. I'm on a business trip. Okay. And, I like to live with as much gratitude as I can because we all have something to be thankful for. Mm-hmm. And, as I'm driving down the road, I'm thinking to myself, gee, I'm a Christian. I know not everybody is, but I believe in angels and heaven and hell and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought to myself, my mom and dad are gone, but they're out there. Yeah. And I said, I'm just going to say, hey, mom and dad, thank you very much. Right. And then I thought, hey, grandpa, thank you very much. We all have 4 grandmas and grandpas, right? And then I said, hey, great grandmas and grandpas, thank you very much. And you got 8 of those and 16 great grandparents and so forth and so on. You multiply every generation by 2. And so I'm going down the road. Going, hey, great grandparents, thank you very much, right? Going down every generation. And here's the thing. We all have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great grandparents, 16 great grandparents. Okay. Yeah. And you just multiplied every level by 2. At your 10th generation of ancestors, there are 1,024 people there. Over 1,000 people. If you go to your 20th generation, there's 1 million ancestors at that level. Okay. And so I'm sitting here going, gee whiz, boy, those numbers really add up. Right. And so I thought to myself, I wonder how many ancestors I have if I were to go back to the days of Christ 2,000 years ago. So here's the thing. If you just do simple math and you go, okay, assume 25 years per generation. That's four generations per 100 years. Times 20 is 80 generations. Okay, between now and 2,000 years ago. You realize that 80 generations ago, there were 1 sextillion people at the 80th generation of your ancestors. That's 1 sextillion. Yeah, 1 with 21 zeros behind it. Okay,
that's a lot of cousins.
That's a lot of cousins. Now here's the thing that blows your mind. There's never been that many people on planet Earth.
Right.
Okay. Right now we got, I don't know, less than 10 billion people. There's never been 1 trillion people, let alone a quadrillion, a quintillion, and a sextillion. And so how do you explain that? The way you explain that through the math is intermingling, right? Is that when you start off with your family tree from your parents, it starts going out like a tree. But then what happens is that those tree limbs start to get entwined with each other, right? And we become intermixed. And so when you think about it, and I actually think there's been studies done on this that have included DNA.
Yeah.
We're all related. And so, it's
so hi, cousin.
Yeah, right. Maybe even closer. But right. And so for me, it's been one of those things where, as I look at the world and I try to, the podcast is called Finding Better, right? I mean, there's so much craziness on the earth right now. There's just, the world has gone crazy. I mean, with all these different, you think about all the epidemics of our times of drug addiction and mental illness and homelessness and all these things.
Yeah.
Helping one another and understanding and knowing that somehow we're all related. We've talked about karma, and I really do believe that, I've got this thing in my head that says, I need to take care of everybody around me. That guy that I just cussed out on the freeway, somehow I related to him, right? And it just kind of shifts your mind into, wait, what? And and so anyway, so one day I went and talked to a friend of mine who is kind of a spiritual person, and I told him about this, and he's like, wait, what? You went down the road thanking your ancestors? And I said, yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I had nothing else to do, so why not? Well, what happened? What's happened since you've been doing that? And I had to think about it, and I honestly, truly thought and realized, you know what? Since I've been doing that, things have been pretty good. Things have been
nice.
And so it's one of those things one of those lessons that I've learned for myself, and one of those experiences that I've had that I love to share. And try it, right? Try it. You might like it. And just when you're not, turn off your radio and just start thanking your ancestors and see what happens.
As you say that, I'm sitting here because I'm a filmmaker, right? And I'm a creative. So I'm sitting here going, if you did a movie where you could go back in your ancestry and you're like, I'm going to go visit my cousin in, 1872. And in
which one?
And you're, whatever. They're like, they just know, they've researched in history or whatever. They're going to go visit this cousin, right? So if they go visit this cousin, now everybody's watching knows that Tigo's nuts. So they're going to go, oh my God, Tigo's crazy now. She done lost it. Because my brother's right now shaking his head going, don't go there. But if you go back there and imagine, like, I'm African, well, I'm actually mixed, but African American. And I go back and my cousin in 1864 is like Portuguese or Vietnamese or Chinese or something. It would be like,
yeah, right?
Wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah,
that would be an interesting story. I love that story. Before we get cut off, because I know Alan's about to drop the bomb on us. Before we get cut off, tell me this. Why did you start this podcast called Finding Better?
Part of what we just talked about is that the world is crazy. The world is crazy. And, I talk to so many young people and kind of as their mentor. And I realized that there's a lot. In fact, my daughter told me, she says, Dad, there are so many people out there that need to hear what you have to say. And so do this podcast. She told me to do it. And so as I was thinking about it, a buddy of mine, a very good friend of mine, we were having a conversation one day, and he says, and it started getting heated. And he said to me, I said to him, David, do you want my opinion on this or not? And he says, no, I don't. I said, what do you mean? That's kind of rude. And he says, no, listen. He says, I could care less about your opinion, but I'll listen to your experiences all day long.
Nice.
And right. And so that really struck me. And so the podcast is all about sharing. I'm not looking for followers. I'm not looking for sponsors. It's just
he's
giving
looking
back.
for followers. Watch
It's just
the podcast.
it's just giving back. It's just giving back. And I've been blessed with my life. So we're gonna share experiences on finding better relationships, finding better money, finding better pets, finding better health, finding better, on what people have actually done that other people can apply to their lives. And it's just a matter of making the world better, right? And making the world better by helping people be better themselves.
I love it. So how do they find your podcast?
On YouTube, it's a Finding Better Podcast YouTube channel, or they can go to johnsuzuki.com and you can find me there.
Thank you for coming to hang out with us yet again. And we got one more great month with you. I mean, we talked about karma. Now we talked about math. Whew, I'm kind of nervous about what's coming next month, but I can't wait to see. You are the best, brother. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you, Tigo. Love you.
Love you too. Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about my relatives, and yeah, we're not going to get in there, but I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know, I want you to come back next time. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time. Go figure out.